What's up,
Hello.
Beavers gang?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
you're
yeah. You do it. You do it.
all right. What's up, Beavers gang? So today we're gonna record an episode about the Bro movie. We all saw it this opening weekend. I thought we would, pump out a review really quick. But yeah, we have a couple, not a couple, just one special guest. He's making his re-entrance into our show, the great Nakul Vadlamudi. But everyone else is the same that you guys see every week. Akil, you want to give like a synopsis of what the movie's about so far?
Yeah, yeah. It's been like over a week that we haven't recorded. And he already changed the name from Batch to Gang.
No,
But
gang, gang encompasses everybody, like the
Abi
listeners
straight up.
also.
If you're watching on video, all six of you, Abi just straight up left the room. But
Yep.
oh, he's back. He's
I'll
back.
be back.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to talk about the movie Bro, which released last week. Yeah, dude, you got to line up for this episode. Anyways, so before we go into the movie, just a quick synopsis. We're not going to. We'll do a 10-minute spoiler-free review, so you guys don't have to worry about, if you haven't seen it yet because it just came out. You can hear a little bit about our general thoughts, but the synopsis is Mark or what the fuck is his name? Markandaya?
Markandaya.
Yeah, Markandaya. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Hey, Mark.
Mark, yeah.
Markandaya.
Mark. So Mark is a Mark played by Siddharth Tej, lives a very busy life and he needs to give his loved ones more time, but he doesn't. He gets into an accident. He meets Pawan Kalyan, and Pawan Kalyan, who plays time, agrees to let him live again, but only for 90 days. So what happens in that 90 days forms the rest of the movie. So I guess we can go around and say our general thoughts about the movie, but as the title suggests, that was my reaction after watching the movie. I was like, bro, I was like, not another one.
We're gonna do a non-spoiler version for like the first
Yeah,
like 10 minutes or so. Like when we give our reviews, and then we'll tell you guys like if
yeah,
you wanna stay for spoiler, we'll like tell you guys like it's spoiler and you can hop off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, we'll do non-spoiler first. All right, one of you guys can start.
He literally just said that. I should
You
repeat what
say
he said.
non-spoiler spoiler?
He literally
Yeah,
just said that.
it's fine.
He just said,
I wasn't listening.
Yeah. So okay, so two things: PK good, SDT bad. Two
Yeah.
things. Like I liked portions of the movie. The teen kind of did movies I tried this year. Like so many worse movies came out this year. I liked the last 30 minutes, and then I liked some middle portions, but overall it was average to below average. I wouldn't say it's a rod, but there are rod aspects. I'll go more into that later, but you guys can share your thoughts. And I know I'm the only. Oh, by the way, before this episode, before we go any further, I'm the only one here. Like I have to defend my boy. I'm a Pawan Kalyan fan, diehard, but
yeah,
there's certain things he did in this movie that I'll discuss later that I was shocked. I was
Yeah.
appalled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree, similar aspect, but I would say it's for sure below average for me. But
Yeah.
I think the negatives
Mhm.
definitely outweigh the positives. But the couple things that I did like about the movie was definitely the last half hour where the story seemed to lie. The first like hour and a half, there's like nothing, but the last half hour seems like what someone Gurney actually intended on telling. And then there are some like comedic moments here and there that like got some chuckles, but other than those are my only biggest positive, like those two things. But other than that, like I think every other aspect is a negative. Like especially like Sidearm Tage, dude, that guy was unbearable to watch. Like
Yeah.
so bad. I don't know what like I mean, okay, dude, obviously people are giving him a pass because of his accident and what happened, but I seriously think he needs to take some time off and like really focus on himself and then come back to films because dude,
can you not be a dick?
he
Avi's
cannot
laughing when you
act.
mentioned the accident.
He just
He's trying. Dude, why the fuck are you laughing? You
That's fucked up, man.
didn't even say a
Okay,
But
joke. It's
no, I'm talking about Abi.
laughing.
No,
No, I'm
but
laughing because this guy is a jackass. Tyler's a jackass for that. Like he's cooking him like when he has an acting, he's working from
I'm
an acting, he's trying.
I'm giving Sidearm Tej like
He literally
some
cooked him for now.
like I'm not yeah. Abi, if
Positive
anything,
reinforcement.
You
What do
know,
you?
you know what the worst
exactly.
part is during the
Are you supposed to
movie?
be PK? You give him like positive reinforcement that you can do it. Tough love.
Don't compare me to PK in this movie, please.
During the movie, my mom was like, this is based on a true story. I'm like, okay, first off, that's like not what happened. Like, no, she meant in the sense that SDT got into an accident in real life too. But I was like, the movie's
Oh
not
yeah.
actually.
No, I thought you said activism. I thought you said activism like the actual entire movie's based off true story. I was like, bro, like, no, it's not. Like God doesn't come down. It's like, my name is Time. I am what you always miss.
Nicole clarified it's not based on a true story.
Anyways, to finish off what my basic review is, yeah, I didn't like a lot of the aspects of it, and I'll go into it deeper in the the spoiler section. But yeah.
Yeah, dude, I think same, dude. I echo everything. It's below average. I think that there's just we'll get into it, but basically like I didn't think there's any heroism elements, and STT did not like is like unbearable, like you mentioned. So dude, like I don't know. I mean PK was good. I don't think it's not like one of his better performances. It's just kind of in his middle. But yeah, I think it's below average. STD needs to take some time off, dude. Like I don't know what he was thinking taking this movie. I mean, just because like his family PK wasn't it, he was like, oh, maybe he was down, but dude, this was pretty bad.
What are you guys laughing at? What is so funny? Please share to the audience.
Please share.
Right when Abby started off, I was literally calling it with these guys. I was literally calling it with these guys too. Like in every podcast, this motherfucker Abby, this motherfucker never starts. He always has someone else start. Then the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "Oh yeah, like I okay everything," and then he asks him like, "Who's that shit?" Make it sound like, "Oh yeah, I get all this shit." Like motherfucker, like next time, the motherfucker have this guy go first.
Dude, can you not embarrass him on the podcast itself?
He was shit left and right. I was like, "Wow, okay, bad."
Yeah, dude, but I'll go next for the
Yeah, we'll let Abby go first in spoiler discussion. Okay, so he starts it.
Yeah.
Wait, so you thought he didn't look good?
I thought I didn't think SDT looked good.
Oh,
PK was
SDT,
good though.
oh.
Yeah. PK was
Yeah.
good. But I don't think
PK.
it's his like it's nothing that stands out in his performances. So
Yeah, dude.
it's just kind of
It's
the middle.
tough because like the story has a lot of potential, right? I mean, there's so many movies with the same concept. Like
Yeah.
there's this movie called Oh My God with Akshay Kumar. You guys have probably seen it or heard of it.
Yeah.
I've seen a remake.
Well, I mean, no. PK remade it as Gopal.
Yeah, PK remade it. So
Gopala.
it's like
Oh,
it's
the
like
one
oh
with-
Gopala. Yeah,
That's the one with
yeah.
Venkatesh, right? Yeah.
It's like God and humans concept. It's pretty cool. And if you do it well, it can be really like meaningful. But I think they only started trying in the last act, like we said, which we'll talk about later. But for me, also just a general review, Taman. Wow. Okay, so Nicole's dog is sipping the fuck out of water. So sorry for the background, but Taman's BGM was really good, but his song sucked. I don't know how that happened, but like the bro like Slocum in the background score.
Slocum.
They
Yeah,
just
no, that's
scream,
what it's called. Straight
they
up.
just scream bro every
Yeah.
5 seconds. They're like, bro, bro.
Yeah, and like they should have just honestly kept that BGM instead of using all of his old song or paying homage to himself. Like there's a lot of
yeah.
PK references in this movie. I won't say what because it's a spoiler, but
Mhm.
you almost just said yeah. But at points there's like PK budget that doesn't even make sense. It's just a normal scene.
PK, like the entire movie seemed like
Exactly.
was like a
The first hour and a half was all PK budget on, but
So
even like
yeah.
the end too, the second half too, they had some budget on sessions.
but at least in the second half, it was like story related. In the first half, like first hour and a half, nothing was story related that was budget enough for him. It just was
Yeah.
like pure fan service.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I guess like if we don't have it, because everything else requires spoilers, right? So I guess we can like hop into the spoiler. Because did you give your thoughts?
No.
Oh, okay, so you can go.
I think the movie was just like, yeah, it was bad, but one of the things was it was just so lazily done.
Yeah, I agree. It was really lazy. The VFX team just did not try, dude.
No, but even like the editing and stuff, like they straight up just did not care about the movie. Like they were just putting scenes together that had no relation to each other, and then like one of the
Dude, I still remember the song placement for that one song with Ketika. Like when
Oh,
we and
yeah.
Nicole saw it, there was remember that like group of like bachelors or whatever that was sitting in front of us. Like they like called it. Dude, they called it. Like they were like singing the song like 2 minutes before it came, and then it actually came, and they were like shocked. They were like, "Holy shit!" Like it actually came.
Dude, I literally had to
That's how
cover my
bad
face
that
when
song placement was.
Yeah, no, I was like, dude, this is almost as bad as like Nike Wandamekwa. Like that was brutal.
What movie is that?
Walter.
Walter.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I went
yeah,
with this dude.
yeah. I guess since we all did our like one line spoiler free, we can do in spoiler now. So okay, I guess Abby now starting
Yeah.
according to
I'm
the
starting
poll.
the spoilers. Yes.
Our spoilers.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So
We can do bit by bit.
what do you want to do? Like just go through the first half
Let's
right
do
now?
first half. Yeah, let's do first
Okay.
half.
First half.
So I
Okay.
actually, yeah. So I
No,
think
no, no,
first
no.
half.
No, don't say anything.
I want. Yeah, go.
So I think first half is was actually like not bad because I enjoyed how he set the plot. You could see the potential with how the story was kind of going where he got in the accident. SDT kind of like you said was very he cared too much about everything and he wanted control of certain things. So um like I really I like the initial staging of the plot of the storyline, but I think that it gets too lost and it gets too like the story doesn't progress as it gets closer to the interval, and I think that's what lags it as it goes. But the initial part of the first half I did like because I mean you see like the you get those chuckles from PK his character, and then SDT you're kind of curious of like what the hell happened, why did he die? So like there's some sort of intrigue in the first half that kind of set it up. But as it goes through, it kind of falters into the intermission. So that's kind of my thoughts on the first half. So yeah, if you want
Yeah.
to.
But also before Kata says anything too, like I feel like me and Kata probably missed the spot like first like 20, 30 minutes, but
We missed the first 15
like
because
up
Oh,
until
wow, okay.
like
first
no,
15.
I think it was more than 15.
No, no, no.
Because it
It was
started
15
right on
because
time and we were already like 20 minutes late.
no. They said it started like close to 10 and we got there like 10:10 or like 10:15 like at the most. So we missed like
The
15
show
minutes.
time was at 9:50. What do you mean 10? 10. The
Yeah,
show time was
no.
at 9:50 and they
They
said
said it started at like 10 because there were still some ads that played.
oh the person right next to me said
Yeah.
like there's no ads. It started right on time. I was
I don't.
like,
Yeah,
I
it
feel
started.
I feel like if you guys missed the first 10 minutes is like SDT's setup, right? Like did you
Yeah, that's
walk
why I
in direct?
assumed. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why because like in the
The
trailer
setup
you
was
see
not bad.
him like
Yeah, I mean the setup was okay. It's like your typical corny shit. It's like examples of how he doesn't care about his
oh,
family.
he's just
exactly.
like
That's what I thought.
yeah,
That's
not time for this.
yeah.
Not time for
Kinda,
this.
yeah, exactly. But
Because they
one
showed that
thing,
in the trailer, so I was like, there can't be more than this. So
Because we basically came in when
the accident
PK was
happened.
introduced
oh, okay,
basically, right? Like he already goes to heaven. He's like, oh wait, I'm in heaven, whatever.
So
one
did
of
you
the
guys not see
worst.
the accident then,
We saw the
or did
accident.
you?
I mean, like, we saw
You
the
did.
accident because we saw the accident when like rewinds it and he gives him like two other tries. Like he's like, I'll jump off. He gets hit by a
Yeah.
truck. And
We saw that
jumps and then,
whole
like
action
step away
scene.
from the truck,
We saw that
but
Okay.
like gets
Okay.
hit by spears.
Dude,
Yeah.
one thing about after the accident is like it's Dharam acting. Like Saidam Tej is in a black room and he acts like someone just
Yeah.
put him in a closet. Like he's not at the least like surprised. He doesn't reach for his phone, he doesn't do anything. My brother was laughing when he ran back and forth in the darkness. Because he would run like 4 feet and come back and run 4 feet to the left. And I was like, dude, why the fuck is he running? Like it's small things like that where like he reacts in such a weird way. You know, it's like if really you woke up after an accident and you're in a room full of black, you'd be so much more panicked. And small stuff like that, right? And even when he found out he was dead, there was not much reaction. Um,
Yeah.
I think a
the
big part
crying
of
was
that,
really artificial too.
I feel
the
like a
big
lot of
part of that is definitely because the whole movie was freaking a green screen. And I don't think SCT has experience acting around a green screen. So it just felt very fake. Like when he was emoting and everything, like you were saying,
like
should be more panicked or whatever. He was, imagine him surrounded by a green wall. Like that's where he was acting. And he probably just couldn't do it properly.
But I feel like at the same time you have to give him the benefit of the doubt because like after like since his accident too, like you've seen like his interviews and stuff too. I know Saw you mentioned too, but like he has like a little bit of stammer and like after like
Yeah.
because he was in a coma and stuff too, right? So like affect his brain, like his speech is really tough too. So like I think that probably took a toll and like he's not able to express his emotions. So, like some of his older movies like Supreme, like all those things, he was acting, he was expressing a lot. I mean, yeah, granted, there's like the green scenes all the part of it, but I feel like we should also give him the benefit of the doubt for like how much effort he probably put in to even be able to do that much. Because if you listen to his interviews now, it's like if you, I feel sad at least. Like I was like, damn, like it's like he's struggling to like speak and he just tries to like smile his way out of it in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So I think we have to give him the benefit of the doubt for that. I think aside from that too, like PK was like he did his job. He basically got his paycheck and he was good to go. But I think aside from that, like this guy, like Silent Fish, I liked his acting, but I feel like if you're looking for like actual like they tried to make this like not like a family budget off basically, and they wanted to do more with it. Then instead of doing Silent Fish, they put like some other actor, right? I think that would have been a little better in my opinion, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Like we were talking, like when after we saw the movie and came out, we were talking about it, and we were like, if they put someone like Nani in that role, like I think this movie would have been like another level. Like Nani would have definitely elevated it, even with how the source material currently is, like how it was written, everything. I think him just acting in it and using his own acting abilities, he would have elevated it for sure. But
But it will also, I feel like it also wouldn't have hit as much because it wouldn't have been like a family budget now, basically, right?
no, dude,
Family
yeah, I
stuff.
mean,
So
if they're
I
going
mean,
for the
that's like their
family
biggest
aspect,
like build off, like they're like
yeah,
like promoting to
that's their
the
biggest marketing thing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I like you guys said, their chemistry was really good. Like I thought like despite the acting and stuff, they especially the last scene where they're like hugging each other, or the way they like mess around, I think it's really good chemistry. I don't know, even on Unstoppable Sidearm, they said he respects Pawan Kalyan a lot, and you can see that. But VFX is terrible. Like when Pawan Kalyan's like clones started doing the Tamru dance in the lungi, I was like, dude, what the hell is going on? Like, why are there 900 like lungi PKs? And like anytime they're walking around the big time, like the big clock, you can see their feet and you can see like their shadow outlining, and it's
Yeah.
so distracting.
Yeah.
మొత్తం first scene లో అలాగే ఉంటుంది. Like the darkness just did not work. They shot that entire god and like the creation scene in like half darkness and half light, and it literally looked like they ran out of money, so they had to adapt.
If you look at their close-up shots, you can see the outlines on their like bodies and
Yeah,
stuff. It was
and the
very
budget is
poor.
180 crores or some shit, or like 100 crore plus.
How much did he make?
PK made 100. I don't know
The
how much.
budget was all him.
Yeah,
The movie-
straight up, yeah, it's all him, and then they have to use the rest for like renting out like Nagarjuna's backyard or some shit, like the green screen that they have at Annapurna Studios.
Production value looked like an ETV serial.
Holy
Like,
shit.
like you can see like the thunder effects that they have, like all the background effects and everything. Like it was such a terrible thing that like I started dying when he did the cloning, because you could see like where they cut the frame as well, and they just copied and pasted all over. And it was the worst editing I'd ever seen. I was dying for 2 minutes straight.
The best part was Sidon, they just reacted. He's like, what is going on? He's genuinely like shook. The best acting he did the whole movie.
Also, the movie was just like so weirdly edited in the sense that like they'd give too much time for the dialogue to be said, and there'd be like a half-second delay of like the next scene, and it just felt so awkward because it was just like waiting for them.
Copy.
Yeah,
They didn't cut the trim the edges. basically.
exactly. Yeah, it was
Even within the dialogues that characters are having, there would be a, like you were saying, there would be a gap. Like Silencers would say something, gap, and then cut to like Tanikila Barney or whatever saying something back to him. Like there'd be like a weird like like feel about conversations also.
yeah, it's like the KGF2 editor did that.
I think especially they put too much BGM over dialogues. There's literally a scene where they're on the water and PK's playing the guitar, and like Silent they just actively talking to him, but there's the BGM. Like I could tell what he was saying because of the subtitles in the theater, but I'm like just stop the music and just let them talk. Even like it just felt so weird because they would just be like mouthing words. And then like in the middle of a scene, and I'm pretty sure the BGM they used wasn't even a guitar, so I don't know what the fuck he was doing with that like toy, the Guitar Hero toy. But yeah, I mean, my biggest complaint, dude, like I am a fan, but like, what the fuck was the need to put the Bimla music when they were driving? Like, that was so
That was
random.
the worst placement of all the PK budget they did. That was the worst.
So, right? Like, and there was like the
Yeah, but it made like there was no reason. They could have just used the bro BGM.
Yeah.
Right?
It had to be
Like, the only time it worked was his introduction and then the killy part. Like the Jalsa stuff was really unnecessary. Same with all the Tamardu songs. Like they're on top of the car. Then Pawan Kalyan's rap and Gudamba Shankar. And it's like 1 minute. Like that's fine. But the scenes go on too long. The Bhimla Nayak shit is straight up in like a minute.
Yeah. It's entire until he enters the house where they're
Exactly.
going. It goes on.
Like 30, 40 seconds.
And he wasn't even part of the problem. It was like Rohini and Syed Teja's issue. And then they elevate him.
I don't even think he says anything in that house.
He
Like,
doesn't. He straight up doesn't. He just
he doesn't
starts
do anything.
He just walks and they put him in front center.
Yeah.
Like he's leading the show.
It's like in the Pink trailer how the three girls are like the limelight and then Vakil Saab like dude fuck the woman. It's Pawan Kalyan like leading the pack.
My biggest problem with this movie is it did not need to be made. Like there was nothing it contributed to society because like they just took 15 different scenes from similar movies, put it together, and then just added PK montage.
Dude.
And next, what did Walter contribute to society? Like, bro, like did it more like
Shruti Hassan.
Dude, you know, this dude Trikram needs to stop writing these fucking poetries. Like he doesn't need to rhyme every single lesson he gives.
Dude, I think he's the culprit behind this movie.
I've heard it.
Because the original that was made by Samudrakani, the director of this one, apparently is actually really good. I haven't seen it, but it's on
Same.
Aha or something, I think. But apparently it's
what is
very
it called?
good. And
It's called Vinod Saityam.
yeah,
Like a Tamil
It's a
movie?
It sounds like a
Tamil-
Justice TV serial.
Yeah.
yeah, and apparently it's actually really good because it's all just Samudrakani's like visuals, right? But then as soon as Trikram got involved and as soon as PK got involved, it all changed. And I think Samudrakani only had like the last 20 minutes to tell his story that he wanted to tell because that's what it seemed like. The whole first hour and a half was like the same thing. Like there wasn't really much movement that happens in the first hour and a half. And then all of a sudden the last 30 minutes hit and that's like, oh, this is where the story is. Like this is why they're making the movie. But I think his original was like throughout, like it was a fleshed out, like, complete, like character oriented, like, like the story was good, everything. But as soon as I think PK got involved, like everything got messed up. Or Trikram, sorry, not PK.
Yeah. When you said PK got involved, I'm gonna do that's like the first day of the film being produced. Like they literally did the
It
casting.
was I don't know why Samudrakani felt the need to go to Trikram because I think he himself approached Trikram.
Oh, did he? Oh, I thought Trikram just
Yeah.
showed up because he was bored of like firing people from Guntur Karam.
No,
Wait,
he
that's
approached-
also my question. Like, why? Like, did he need to? So I thought like did Trivikram because like Trivikram was like rewrote the script for this version, I guess. But then so he did that, and he just told someone to direct it. Like, why can't someone just be like, this is Cap? I'm just gonna do my thing.
It's like a top Telugu director coming to you and giving you changes, right?
I mean,
Plus,
he's giving
plus
the
you're
story,
getting
but,
like a top
his
actor.
story. It's like his original story, right? And it's
Yeah.
already knows it's a hit.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to
I
change.
mean,
it.
the thing is, Trikram's been he's been associated with ghost projects with like Pawan Kalyan in the past. Like Teenmar was the first time it happened. And then Bhimla Nayak was the second time.
It was also
Teenmar was like heavy him too.
Yeah, but
That's why
like-
the tone is so heavily in the second, like in the last 30 minutes is like two different movies in terms
yeah,
of tone.
it's a
and, like,
completely different movie. The last
Yeah.
30. Like it suddenly just shifts.
Yeah, no, I hated the songs in the first half. I thought Ketika Sharma was god awful. Like, yeah,
You didn't need
I
to
don't
be.
no point.
She just did not need to be there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I like, I guess we can, if there's no one else wants to talk about I'm trying to think. First half was lame when they like.
Yeah.
I think the real meat of the movie is the second half. Like, the first 15 minutes of PK's acting was really weird for some reason. Like, the lines they gave him, like the boo stuff, like the over mannerisms, I thought were just so unnatural. Because then he's naturally a hyperactive dude, but I liked the way he was way more subtle in like the second half. They tried way too hard to make him like a hyperactive Pawan Kalyan in the first half. First 15 minutes at least, I thought he was like really bad for the first 15 minutes, and then it started getting better and better.
Yeah, like when he was talking to Saddam Tej primarily in the first, like when he gets introduced, right? Like he's
like the
explaining
circle
to
when
him-
they're talking in a circle.
yeah, he's explaining everything to him. He was being very unnecessary there, but
Yeah, he was overacting. Yeah,
He was like,
yeah. I was
yeah,
like,
like he'd laugh and scream every like 2 minutes, like for no reason.
yeah.
he was Hollywood's Joker.
And then I guess when they come back, we can talk about the second half. Then if like Avi, do you have anything about the first half?
No, I think the second. I mean, I just think, dude, like the first half, it's just there's nothing that really advances the plot. SDT, all he is crying or he's just mad. Like that's literally his two emotions, and
Yeah,
that there's no like I said, like I don't think there's really a true hero in this movie. There's no heroism elements in STD at all. Like you don't take away any type of like lesson from the hero. He has no power through this movie. Like there's no any. It's just PK just lecturing the entire movie essentially, right? He's just telling him like how it would be if you weren't there, right? Like when he dies, like it's the same kind of scenario that plays out. And I mean, obviously you find that out in the last 30 minutes, but like there's no real like true heroism elements in STT, and I think that's where this movie really, takes a downfall. Because it's just again, it's just PK like just doing his thing, and then it's just literally him just lecturing him throughout the entire movie. So it's that's where I think it really just, and I don't know how you could really fix that. That's like I don't know what they could have done. That's my only thing. So
Get a different actor and write the character better. That's what
exactly, yeah, yeah. So, but yeah,
Speaking usually doesn't care about like his movies, right? He just goes on character. But this time it felt like he just walked on set after he
And he
woke
just-
up 15 minutes ago, and he's like, "All
Yeah.
right, I need my check right now." I'll do the scene, and then he did one take and he left.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does
I
he
actually,
charge like by hour or something? Or is it per day?
by
or
day,
how-
I think, by day.
yeah, I actually disagree. This was the most fun I've seen him have in a long time. Like you can actually tell he was like, even if the acting was overacting, like he looked like he was having fun with his nephew. Like throughout the movie, like this is the first time, like because like Vakil Saab and Bhima were serious roles, right? So this movie I think was like one of the like last times I actually saw him enjoying the movie, and you can tell like he's excited for this movie and OG. He's actually putting in the effort. But
Mhm.
for me, two things I liked in the first half, there was some good dialogues besides the rhyming shit. Like Pawan Kalyan explaining how we're all guests on Earth, just like we are when we check into a hotel, right? Like I liked that sequence in the first half, and I also liked dude, oh my god, I literally forgot one of the two things I liked. Wow. I just liked that sequence and how there was some seriousness, and I like the interval twist too. With the family like just starts to collapse, right? And he has to fix it. I thought that was pretty cool. So literally the introduction was cool too.
His family aspect also I had a lot of issues with. Like I had issues with his like Sadam Tej's character and the family. Like it just didn't feel like it was realistic. But like we can talk about that in the second half.
Yeah, honestly,
I
yeah,
felt
we can
more in the
just
second half.
yeah, we can just go into the second half
Okay.
now. But yeah,
I'll just say it because like I started with this. So I feel like everything related to what happens in the family and Siler Mtej's character, like it's just so out of sync. Like for example, his mom going to the hospital, and then this guy not going. There's not a single scene of him going to the hospital. It's only like when she wakes up out of her coma that we see him go to the hospital. And then a lot of the stuff with him and his sisters that just didn't make sense. Like I understand they're trying to say like, oh, he's like a old person in a modern age or whatever, like his characterization, like he wants his like young sister in college to get married off, like I don't know, all that stuff just didn't like sit right with me. Like I don't think that's realistic of a older brother in the current age, but I guess if that's the character they're going for, then fine, whatever. But that's the small part. The biggest part that I did not like, I mean, okay, we split into halves, but the biggest part that I did not like about this movie overall was the laziness involved in all aspects of filmmaking, not just acting or like whatever, just all aspects. Like VFX we talked about acting, editing we talked about, um, even the music we talked about, like all across all crafts. Like it was just lazy, lazy, lazy everywhere. And that was my biggest problem with the whole movie. And even in like some scenes, like yeah, PK like is having fun and all, but we talked about it, overacting. Like it's like, come on, like has no one like did no one watch that and think, dang, okay, maybe we should try a different way? Like it seems a little off, like and a little odd. Like put a little bit of effort in, look, did no one tell like um the editor, like, hey, like this is choppy, like why is this song here? Just a little effort, it doesn't require that much, but I just didn't see that, and that's what pisses me off the most. Because at the end of the day, like we're paying customers that are going to watch the movie, and if you're gonna give us a low quality like movie and charge $20 a ticket, like that's like kind of that pisses me off.
yeah.
Keep in
You
mind, like,
excluded the part where you paid 15 for the child ticket, but I like the idea.
no,
Yes.
it was 15 for
But
normal.
still, dude, 15 is like
Oh,
still too much for this.
no,
Like,
I agree. I agree. It was ridiculously lazy. This did not feel like a tier one movie. First of all, this is one of the six biggest heroes in Tollywood, and first off, like
Well, I mean,
someone should slap.
he's not.
Someone should like.
This is not his movie though, right? It's considered SDT's movie, right?
It's
Or
not,
is
but
it?
who's going for SDT?
Yeah, no
Like,
one's
let's be
going to watch
honest.
it. Honestly, if Pawan was not in this movie, it would not have made
Yeah.
as much money as it has like so far.
Oh yeah,
Oh, easily, yeah.
obviously, yeah,
We would
easily.
have gotten like Virupaksha Goodwill, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Dude,
like
if
people
Pawan
would
Kalyan
have.
was on his movie, I don't think this movie happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't think this movie
even
happens.
if
What's
they
the point
put
of this
like,
movie? Like, yeah,
dude, I don't even think like even if they put Chiranjeevi in that role, I don't know if it would have
I
gotten
don't
this much like opening.
exactly.
Honestly,
Yeah,
Dude, if it was a Chiranjeevi movie, it would have just been like, it would have been even worse.
it'd been
Yeah.
worse.
Would have
Uh,
been this guy going for it.
yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't. I'm just glad it wasn't like Balakrishna and Nara Rohit, like that fucking like relation.
God, no one would go for that relation. No one cares about
Can
that.
you imagine
Don't say that.
Bale being like, bro, pegde do. But yeah, no. So, okay, so second half, right? So a couple of things. I think like the second half. So first off, I hate whenever Sidearm Tage does like the little boy thing. Like in the Betakuni, he goes like this. It's disgusting. Like he's a grown man. He needs to stop that.
As you say that, I really had my
Yeah. No, and then in the second half, one of the things that I disliked the most was the lack of like how things just sort of happen so quickly. So we just find that his sister like they didn't establish family well enough. It put it both like both of his sisters had like these love affairs, and it's sort of a shot to side them stage. But I wish they told the audience that earlier, and I wish we also got to see like his childhood earlier on in the movie because we don't empathize with him for a good chunk of the movie. Like he's just a dick. But then we see he had to like work hard as a kid and stuff, and they just squeeze that at the very end. And like also there's this mind blowing dialogue where the dialogue goes, "Yeah, usually rich people only get this. It's Parkinson's disease," and I was like, I was like,
Look,
what does
okay,
that even
the way
mean?
I interpreted that was like as like a satire or something. I thought that's what they were going for.
I think he
I don't
meant
know if
only
that's my
rich
Santa
people.
brain. Like I don't know if that's my Santa brain trying to make up something or like if that's what they intended on.
I think what he meant to say is only rich people can afford to cure it, but the way he said it
Yeah,
was
it was
really
like
like
trolling.
stupid.
It was like he was like smiling while saying it. That's why I was
It
like,
was-
are they being satirical or like what's going on here?
yeah, no, he was like, yeah, rich people get it. It's called Parkinson's. I'm like, dude, that's just not true. Like a symptom of Parkinson's is not having a bank balance. Like what? Doesn't care about your Chase account, bro. It's gonna get you regardless.
That's why PK is in such good shape.
But I mean, I liked his styling. He wore like loose stuff. But anyways, so wonderful dialogues like that in the second half, like Venla Kishore doing the Mark poem. Like, I mean, top tier writing right there. Like that was god awful to listen to. So dialogues like that, and then they rushed the family sequence, and everything was like super choppy. And like, it's like, are we really supposed to care that both of his sisters got married when we saw the characters twice? Right? We saw his Baba literally two times. One time he comes in, changes the shirt. Second time he's helping out. So these characters, like when that marriage scene happened inside them, they just happy. I felt nothing because I don't care about two of his sister characters. I don't care about his Bavas. I don't care about like his mother's health because they don't do a good job prioritizing it. Instead, there's songs like scenes of PK and Sidem Tage going to that stupid club and drinking and doing like references to his own movies. Like there was no need for that. And then I don't understand the reference, but he straight up just starts scolding Prithviraj in the middle of the dance sequence.
I think it was meant for comedic purpose, but it was not
Yeah,
fun.
no one laughed. Like my theater was dead silent. And I was like, dude, this is in the middle. And the Urvashi song was so bad. Like she was like
Well,
guy
I was
rating.
shocked when I saw her because I thought I saw like some like she was promoting the movie for some reason. I was like, why is she promoting the movie? And then when I saw her entrance in the movie, I was shocked. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's the worst placement.
Not the one that did the
The item song, like she was in like
Yeah, she kept like it was just so vulgar for a movie with God in it. Like straight up. Like you have a movie with a God in it and you have two songs with girls shaking their head. Like it's so hard to baby as one, and the other one is like Urvashi guy rating on Sidearm Tage. And I was like, dude, what the hell is going on?
Also, the craziest part of the like second half is the cousin that she was supposed to get married to gets the girl pregnant.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I want disco. It's like, you thought it was like, oh
No, that's not what happened. She said, like, I want to commit suicide. He said, sleeping with disco. I was like, dude, who talks like that? No one says that in real life.
dude, they literally got like a guy off the street to act for that scene.
Yeah.
That guy was
Dude.
so bad.
And then like I felt nothing when him and Ketika broke up and he was watching their like wedding video. I didn't feel sad or anything, because once again, we don't know about these characters. We spend more time seeing like PK adjust his belt in the movie than we see like actual like relationships with the family.
especially
Yeah.
Subaraju. That guy
Yeah,
we see
why
in
the
like
fuck is he in that?
two
Yeah.
shots of the movie. That's it. But he causes so many different problems for Saidam Tej. Like, that whole fight sequence happens because of Subaraju.
Yeah. I love how in that fight sequence, Andani Gortadu, and Subraj comes out of nowhere and then he goes, like, I won't leave you alone if anything happens to my sister. I'm like, dude, where were you this whole time? You're just in the garage, dude. Just watching, like, what the fuck?
The worst part was it was just so boring. Like this has been done
Dude, you
so
said the
many-
worst part 10 times. I'm gonna be the 10 worst parts of the movie. That's why I was laughing.
like it's just there's nothing that gave us any entertainment. Like even Brahmanandam is in the movie, but like he gets a cap role. Like like nothing in the movie like is entertaining. Basically,
I'm just like,
Imagine being in the industry for 30 years and you get a role after a long time and it literally ends with you preying upon a man. It's so humiliating for an actor of his stature.
That's what, dude. Brahmanandam scene was so bad. Oh my
It
god,
was
they
so bad.
ruined him. They ruined him.
literally 90% of movies just like a family like budget out session.
Yeah.
So like and like up until the last 20 minutes, there was like no story or anything, and then they squeezed everything in the last 20 minutes. And like at that point, you're not gonna sympathize. Like you're not gonna sympathize with like anyone. So I was like, okay, bet. Like, what the point of this? That's why I feel like it didn't hit. So if they like spaced it out and did more depth and all that, I feel that would have been more impactful. But like all we did was just watch Bajana the entire time. I was like, look at this cat.
Dude, the one of the funniest parts I think of this movie was like I like not even funny, but it was just like ridiculous in the sense that like they just stick in these random twists at the very end, like Saidharam Tej and Madan Gopal and stuff like that, and it's just it comes out of like really nowhere. And these
Yeah.
are things you need to establish, like to show like how bad SDT was, right? And then we
That's
see
why
his character grow.
that's why I feel like in the original they were established. Like I feel like the last 30 minutes of what we saw here was the entire movie in the original. But
Yeah,
because of all these PK-isms that they had to shove in, they made that like an hour and a half. And then Sabudakani had like 30 minutes left to tell the entire story, that what he actually wanted to tell.
Yeah.
And it was good, but like obviously could have been way better if they just made that part of the movie.
yeah. I mean, there's a scene where the guy he hurt his Baba, like his Baba's father, is played by Samadagurni, and he's in it for like 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure they just didn't want to find someone offset, so they just brought him at his bought his ass in, gave him a like $2 wig, and said, "Can you act in this scene?" Because doesn't come back in the movie.
I don't think if the father is like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Well, there was a
That
scene
was-
I could not start. Like I know there was a serious scene when he was serving them like rice in Italy. It was supposed to be emotional, but I was like, dude,
I
get
could,
that
yeah, I
outfit
couldn't take
off
that
of him.
seriously. Yeah, I could not take that seriously.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll give some positives because I feel like we've been like clowning on this movie a lot. But so one thing, especially in the 30 minutes that like I liked in the movie, like the ending part,
Yeah.
I liked one dialogue that like Pawan Kalyan says at the end. Like when Saidam Tej dies and goes to him, he basically says like the gift that I give to people that help others in need when it's like when like you won't gain anything from it, and then like hugs him after that. I thought that was like probably the best scene in the whole movie. Like they actually like there was like an actual emotional connect between the both of them when they were doing that scene. But other than that, like I felt, yeah, some of the comedic moments there was some chemistry there, like in the first half or whenever they were like clowning with each other. But overall, like I thought that scene was handled really, really well. And at least like since that's the point that the movie's trying to make, like other than like yeah, living in the present and all that, I at least appreciated that they got that right. Like they put effort into like getting that scene right. So like I like that part of it.
Yeah. No, I really like that part because Cinema Jupiter, like he doesn't get Ketika at the end. He dies at the end, right? Obviously. And I really like the message is that whether or not SDT like Chachina Batkina, like the outcome would have been the same. His family would have been fine with or without him.
I like
But the
they
only
showed
thing
that.
that
Yeah.
yeah, and they'd still be happy. But the only difference is he got to relive that same outcome and see it happen. And he got to learn his lesson, which is why he goes to heaven at the end, because he actually like changed. And that's like his final like reward for changing. It's not going back and experiencing, right? It's like this is the life you could have lived. You got a chance to live it. Like come into like heaven. And I really like that because I didn't think that's how the movie would end. I thought it had the typical cheesy ending where Pawan Kalyan is like, okay, you learned your lesson. You have more than 90 days. I thought Ketika would, break up the marriage, come to SDT. I thought everything would work out well, but I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
If any of that happened, I was telling Nicole this because we were talking about it because Nicole and Bosco were saying like I half expected him to just come back alive at the end. I was like, if
Yes.
that happened, this would have been the worst movie I've ever seen. They would have destroyed any point that they were trying to make in the whole movie if he comes
Yeah.
back alive and like gets the girl and like all that shit happens, you know?
This dude ended up saying that I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna walk out from the movie.
If I saw that scene at the end, that would have been my last straw. I would have been like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm done.
It'd also been the last minute of the
You would
movie.
have,
He would have walked out with everyone else. But no, I agree. Like when they both just started walking and the white just took over the screen, I was like, wow, that was actually a very good like last act. And I think it makes up at least because you leave the theater like with the idea they're actually trying to do something. Right. With Gotham Rider, I left the theater, it's like, oh, they're trying to make a flop. I got it. Right. Same thing with Sardar. But this movie, it's like there's actually a good movie in there, but it just sucks because like I don't know if it's because it's a tier one hero. I don't know if it's because Trivikram, started writing his raps within the movie, but like it just too many cooks in the kitchen for such a simple script and for a small budget. The original was 20 crores, and I've seen clips of it. It looks fine, but you have like all these high personalities, Tollywood influencers working on this movie, and it just went to waste. But yeah, positives like the really good emotion, the chemistry between Pawan Kalyan and Dharam, and then just PK's energy throughout the movie. But besides that, the rest is scrap. Honestly, just watch Gopala Gopala again. Like if
That's
you
a
want
way better version of this movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts. So you guys can talk a bit more about it if you have anything. And also, how did they move on from his death in 60 days? Like that's a little too much. Come on.
Or 90, I think. I think like she forgets about him or something on like the
Yeah.
90th
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, but she like I'm like 3 months. You
No,
dated this guy
it
for
was-
6 years.
exactly.
I think
Oh,
it might
the-
have been 62, like straight
Oh,
up.
the girl, the girl is like 60 or something, but the mom like forgets
Yeah,
to like
I thought that was pretty messed up because it's like make it a little more realistic because 6 years, you're not gonna just like delete it. He died too. It's not like he broke up with you. Chachwa Rababu, you forget his whole ass life in 62 days. It's like
and
just put
she
a
was
one in
like
front of it at least.
and she was like looking at or his brother like gave her a guy to look at or something in like
Yeah.
60 days. I was like,
Straight-
okay, that's not
straight
gonna happen in 2 months. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also they just straight dipped to America. Like everyone just left America.
No, I think I've said like my negatives and positives. I really liked how it ended, but I did not like a majority of the movie. The ending does make up for like a little bit of what I did not like, but not enough. Like I'll say like in my score, like you'll see that's evident. But like it's a very below average movie, like overall, in my opinion.
Yes, I guess you, Ankit, and Abhinav can give your thoughts. You guys can talk for as long as you want or as little as you want.
I mean, like you guys already did all the budget numbers and everything. Like, what more is there for us to say? So now I understand where I've been at come from. Yeah, I also
Yeah,
agree with everything you guys said. They said all the points.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yep.
Now I understand why you say what you do.
You know what the worst
You guys
part is?
Go
Yeah.
back and forth. I'm gonna get back.
You know what his favorite scene is?
What?
It's probably the lime soda scene.
Oh, the lime soda scene's crazy. Dude, that shit's wild.
Yeah.
Dude, I knew you'd be
Forgot
like,
about that.
you probably like
Oh.
went to like Hyderabad house, get a nice limca after that.
Yeah, I did. But
Dude, did you have any thoughts? Or were
You
just
guys
saying that-
said
that-
everything like
Dude, there's
I'm
nothing
like,
else to
like, I
add,
understand
bro.
where everyone comes from.
So why did
You guys did all the
Okay,
budget
that was
already, like-
completely useless in the discussion.
Okay, then Ankit go.
I mean,
No,
Yeah,
dude, he's gonna provide even more negative info. Like there's no value in what he says.
He's gonna be like the worst part is again.
yeah. Thanks for the outfits in the movie. I mean, I like the way he looked, like, he was styled well. He had a good hair and beard,
That's the most boost thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I did.
If in a
Yeah, I like how he looks. Like,
2 hour and 20 minutes movie, you have to praise his looks. That's not a Mahesh Babu
so
movie.
it's not even the look. It's the outfit he's wearing. Like not even how.
No, it's hair and beard too.
Oh, he said that. Wow.
Chuttu got them.
The
Selling
things don't look the
point.
same.
Selling
And like
points.
real life too. It's like it isn't like he customized, like changed his look at all.
No, he definitely lost weight. He looked a
He-
lot. Yeah, he looked a lot worse like before. Like he looked better than
hair and like he doesn't have beard.
I don't think that was intended though. I think he just lost weight because of his political stuff. He's been like
Yeah.
traveling and stuff.
Oh wait, wasn't there also like hella like political statements?
Oh
that he
yeah,
made
there were a
from,
lot
like,
of
from
political
his, like,
references.
party
Yeah.
type shit?
Yeah, there's a lot of political references in the dialogue.
what is the purpose of the 8 that in the the little like backyard 8 symbol on the floor?
Infinity symbol.
The
No,
Infinity.
he's correct. It
The
is an
Infinity.
8,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I don't know like if they meant that. He says 8 at the very end, right?
He says
Yeah.
8 days left.
8 days left.
8 days left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
maybe
trying
that
to-
maybe the 8 is when he really starts seeing. I mean, this
Last
isn't like
thing,
a yeah.
like you guys saying that kind of reminded me of it, but like we talked a little bit about it. His Asylum to just change. Like, where was the change? I didn't see any change. Like, as in, like, where was the process of the change happening? Because all of a sudden they had a scene where they're on like an airport runway, and Pika's like, "All right, I'm leaving you alone. Bye," and he
Yeah.
disappears. And then
Dude,
all of
he
a sudden, the next scene, Sidon Tej is like cooking dinner for them or lunch or whatever, and has a fake ass smile on his face for the rest of the movie. I'm
Dude,
like,
no, when
what
he
is
ended
this
up
sudden
doing
change?
that's the thing. Like when he ended up doing that, right? Like and Pawan Kalyan just dips. I ended up thinking that I ended up thinking that Pawan Kalyan basically just capped the entire 60 day thing. He's like, yeah, you're free to do whatever the fuck you want. I was like, what the fuck is this?
No, he had to go
Like
back to
that's
assembly.
what I thought.
He
Huh?
had to go back to Congress.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
I love the pose he gives when he leaves too. He goes like, "Bro," and then he just
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
he does like a
Yeah,
T
that was-
pose. He doesn't even just.
He-
Wait, what movie is that?
They probably copied it from Kung Fu Panda. Like,
No, I think where the poster he does that shit, right?
oh, it's like every movie in the 2000s. It's like Yogi, like we're not like all those other cap from last movies. Like already,
Yeah.
like right
Yeah.
next to the title, the hero's always doing some pose like this or some
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, that's like what you gotta do or some shit. He does
Yeah,
like this
I don't
shit.
even know.
Or, like, no,
I mean, in the bro poster, Pawan is literally doing the same thing.
oh,
So maybe you're thinking about the movie, but yeah, I mean, if you or Ankit if you two want to or you just share your final thoughts, right?
No, that's the last thing I wanted to say. Like, I forgot to mention, but
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So then Abhinav, like Abhinav and Nicole, do you guys have just overall like final thoughts? Because I know we talked about the second half a lot.
should we just,
Yeah,
should
no,
we just go around and rate it? Because I feel like we've talked about it.
Can he
No,
at
I
least
Dude, I mean, I've already said he's like, I don't have anything to
Yeah.
say. You guys
I
already.
don't have anything to say, dude. I'm just gonna reiterate the fact.
Now
what
I
Alex
understand
said.
what he means.
Yeah, dude.
dude,
Because
creativity focused on them.
Yeah, that's what you guys are doing. Like,
Wait, straight up next episode, Abhinav is taking lead. Like I'm not actually not talking.
No, I'll take lead for.
You have to ask us, yo, Side, do you have anything else to say? Yo, I'll kill you. Have anything else to say?
Yeah, that's what I'll. Yeah.
it's crazy.
Okay, yeah, we can start ratings. I guess.
Go ahead, you start.
Me? Okay. I mean, I have some fan bias, but I'll give it like a 5 out of 10, right middle of the road. Don't think it's lower than that. I think it's better than that. I see a smile on my left. So your rating
Oh, he's
wasn't.
getting like negative.
Keep in mind, he gave Acharya a 3. So if
I
he's
gave Archer
this
a
movie is at least
2.5.
twice as good as Acharya.
Okay, go, Ankit, go. Or you guys go. You guys like Nakul and Ankit go.
Yeah, no, cool. Yeah,
No, I want Ankit to go.
yeah, go.
I'd
All right,
say
Ankit.
3.5, 3.7.
I want you to.
I didn't think it was
We're
a
getting
complete
left,
rod, but
Hmm.
I thought it was bad enough that it could be classified as bad.
What was Dasara on a scale of 1 to 10 for you?
Give it like a 7 or 8.
Oh, he gave the column under commercial a 6.5. You know when Nambi gives Nambi gives the hero in the sorry, right, Avi?
Oh,
That's the 6.5 movie. Lust is greater than love.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my
One
God.
guy doing, haha, I feel like
I would
people
rather
just
watch that than watch Shine Tom Chaco hit on Kirti Suresh. Okay, you what'd you give it?
I'd say like a 4.5, 5-ish range. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like yeah, they had its entertaining moments, but then the budget line was a little too much. And then they like 90% of the movie was all the budget line. And I'm not crazy like the PK family fan type shit either. So I was like, okay, bet like this is. And then the last 20 minutes, last 30 minutes was like they just crammed everything in. So I was like, okay, like this isn't the best, but like I found some sort of entertainment value. It wasn't like Friday shop type shit. So I was like, that's fine.
Nothing
Like Friday shop was actually got off.
That was a point. That was a 0.15.
Dude, that's like -5. Like, if anything goes negative, it's that. Like, I didn't come out of the movie pissed, basically, right? Like, that's my biggest thing.
Abhinav?
Yeah. So I think I would rate it 4.5.
You said like 3 ratings. 4.
Yeah, so I think it's below average. Like there's way more negatives. I mean, I don't. Besides PK, it's like it's like his middle. It's nothing crazy. For him. There's some like hope in the beginning with the story, but it never comes together. The last like 30 minutes is rushed. I think it's just overall there's way more negatives than positives. Um, there's obviously there's moments of comedy. But even with the comedians like Veronica Shore didn't have that many moments. Brahmanandam, they messed his up. So it's just like the things that they could have done well, even then they messed that up. So it's just like, and I mean the message I kind of I understood in the end, but like it took time for me. I didn't fully understand what like the message was until the end. That like things play out the same when you're alive or dead. But so I guess the last 30 minutes make up, but overall, man, I think it's just overall like not a good movie. It's rushed, so I would say 4.5.
Yeah, no, I would give it a solid 4 out of 10, and that's only purely because of how the movie ended. If not for that, I would have probably given it way less, maybe like the 1.52 range. Like if not for it making up ground in the last like half hour, 25 minutes, right? But yeah, like you guys are saying, like it's definitely the negatives outweigh the positives, which is why it's below average for me. Yeah, solid 4 out of 10.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I would honestly rather just watch this on OTT. There's no reason to spend like, especially in the USA, the ticket prices are too high. There's just watch
Yeah.
Samataragama on fucking OTT instead, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's disappointment, but it is what it is. But OG, I have faith in OG at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the next movie.
I
Yeah.
think that'll be good.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. I mean, if I'm just thinking, Trivikram did this with bro. I don't even want to see what Guntur Karan was gonna end up.
I don't know. Like until this movie, I thought Thirukram will at least pump out an average project with Guntur Karam, but after this, I don't know. I don't trust. I don't have that belief
I
anymore.
don't trust it. Yeah.
I mean, we'll find
It's
out someone
sad,
else
dude.
left the team tomorrow. Anyways, like new week, new person dips. It's like Love
We'll
Island.
find out one day that Mahesh is leaving in like a month, and the whole movie's done.
It'll get replaced with PK. Straight up. Yeah, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed our episode. Let us know what you think about the movie, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
All right. See you.
See you guys.